Tonight on Nova Legends podcast, I have our 2025-2026 girls basketball coaches panel with an esteemed panel of great coaches. With me today are Dianne Lewis. She's the Edison coach. Coach Lewis is one of the most decorated coaches in the area. She's been a U.S. national team coach. Always good to talk to Dianne. Coach Lewis, graduate of T.C. Williams. I have Coach Kirsten Stone. Coach Stone won four state titles in a row at Madison. It's not too bad, but I guess in Madison, the standard tie these days. Coach, you went to Marshall, right? You played at Marshall.
No, I went to Madison.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, sorry.
Yeah.
Are those fighting words there?
We
Uh,
don't say that.
but oh, you coached in Marshall.
I coached at McLean for
Oh,
4 years.
oh,
Yeah.
McLean, that's right. Marshall on the brain. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, coach is off to another good start this year with some a win over Robinson. Usually I like to talk about those types of wins, but off to another good start. And then I got Coach Amanda Baker from Langley. Coach won a state title at Forest Park playing for Chrissy Kelly. Had Langley in the state tournament last year and has done quite well in the Liberty District with Langley and off to another great start with a win this week over a highly regarded Gainesville team, which people were picked to do well this year. And I got Coach Towe, who called this meeting. Like, Julian, what are you doing? When are we going to cover some girls basketball? Uh, Coach Towell's got an amazing podcast, her and her husband. She's going to be quickly known as Little Towell's mother soon, the way that kid started off his high school career at Hayfield. That's crazy. But Coach runs CTAB, kind of an academy training business with her husband, and coached at Woodson, took Woodson to a state tournament already. Anyway, everyone, thanks for doing this. Great to see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Well, I thought we'd start by I mentioned Coach Towell's son playing. Coach, what's his first name again?
Christian. But
Christian.
everybody calls him CT.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, one thing that you guys all have athletes, kids who are athletes, and Coach Lewis, I believe, even has an assistant coach who's a daughter of hers. Is it difficult sometimes pouring into these kids when your own kid is playing at Hayfield? You spend so much time with the kids and the parents, and it's an intense thing. And your kid, when your kid's playing, you have to miss some of those games. How is that as a high school coach?
Well, this is my first time navigating this whole thing. And the blessing is being at Woodson. I have an amazing AD, where my schedule is set where I can at least see about 16 of Christian's games this season.
Wow.
So it looked up for me where, because we're in different districts, I think that helped out. And so I'll be seeing my baby play. Now I'm about to miss a couple of big games that's coming up, but at least I'm there as much as possible. And I think that's a great blessing for us over here.
And I think 16, because the games are Monday, Tuesday, it's no longer Tuesday or Friday. So at
Right.
least it gives you some flexibility to schedule around that. And I think 16 is a lot. That's not bad at all.
I know. I
Yeah.
can't complain at all.
No, no, no. Anyone else want to address that when you're coaching and you have kids that play or coach?
I mean, yeah, mine just got into it, so I'm new, but I've missed two tournaments, two weekends. So it's hard. I'm new to it, so I don't know as much. We'll see how long. I don't know if I can do it. Although walking and watching those practices is also tough. So
It is. It's a grind watching your kid develop in sports. It's a long process. So maybe it's easier sometimes to let them go ahead and do it, and you
I don't
you
know.
know you
You don't
coach your
want to
own
miss.
basketball, huh?
Yeah, you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
It's hard to separate it. I mean, you're your mom, but then you see and you're like, wait a minute, as the athlete and as the coach is like, wait a minute, you can do better here. I need to see more of this. So it gets a little difficult sometimes, but I think, the dynamics that we've created in our household, I mean, there's an understanding, and I know mom's got to come first, especially now that we're in this high school, which is just, it's crazy to think that like I have a high school kid that's actually playing at this level now. But I think that mom has to come first right now and let him navigate this new space. And then, when the time warrants, I will definitely put my 2 cents in.
Yeah, yeah, 2 or 3 cents in probably.
Right,
Well, Coach
right.
Amanda, I got to see your daughters playing soccer. Nice little videos on Instagram sometimes. So you quickly transitioned to sports mom. But I guess your kids are still pretty young. But do you feel like you're missing things when you're coaching the Saxons?
A little bit, but Penny, my oldest, is now at the age where I can bring her. So she's becoming, part of the experience. So I at least have one that's old enough to sit and do stuff. She runs the clock when she comes. She did film with us the other day. So the more I can include her, I think the less I'll feel bad about missing some of her stuff. But
Yeah.
Justin really runs the show in the winter. He's coaching her right now, coaching my oldest and middle together, and then he watches the youngest at the same time. So, and when you have a partner like Justin, I don't feel so bad. I know they're in good hands, and
Yeah.
I'll see him when I see him.
Yeah. Yeah, you put her on the clock. I mean, that's brutal. I used to think, refereeing was the hard part and being on the clock. I was on the clock a few times. People complain about everything you do when you're on the clock. Start the clock, stop the clock. I mean,
She likes it. Maybe the pressure, I don't know, the numbers, she loves it.
oh, good. That's awesome.
I will
What,
say though, real quick, Diane probably experienced this. It's made me a better coach, like watching and being the parent and understanding like what all these parents do,
Mhm.
has made me more understanding and more,
well,
I don't know, less crazy, maybe.
Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
definitely.
your kids are young, so the
Definitely.
jury's still out, Coach Stone. But
Yeah,
let's
right.
let's bring in Coach Lewis. So you've been through this, and again, I mentioned I believe your daughter's been at least been one of your assistant coaches.
Mhm.
So she was probably playing when you were coaching. So how did you deal with that?
So first, I coached her in high school, so that was a, a challenge and a fun thing all at once. Um, and then she went on to play at Virginia Wesleyan, and so I did miss quite a few games because I was, coaching still high school, and I try to make every Saturday game or Sunday game that I could make. But you sacrifice. It's one of the things that you do. I think, especially as moms, we make a lot of sacrifices
Yeah,
that possibly the dads don't make quite as much.
yeah, and that seems like a pattern in life.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
so, well, why don't we mention something that Coach Stone brought up, and we'll start with Coach Lewis on this. Do you think uh, being a sports parent helps you be a better coach? And also, I guess vice versa, being a coach helps you be a better sports parent because as a coach, maybe you're more understanding of the parents who seem crazy half the time, and as a parent, you probably know better not to call the night of the loss. You can at least wait until the next morning. So anyway, Coach Lewis, do you think being involved as a parent and coach helps you do both?
I definitely do. I think it puts you in tune to things, especially as a parent. When my daughter was playing for me, I could tell a little better if they were tired, if they were frustrated. If I just had a better pulse. I thought on what the team was doing, um, and so it kind of made me also a coach in that you always want to treat kids the way you want your daughter to be treated, or your son, or your kid. And so I think it made me a better coach in that I wanted to be that person for them that was not just a hard ass all the time. Sometimes they needed something else. They needed somebody who could just be there for them if they're going through things. So I do think it gives you a better understanding and a better sense of just being a coach, just being more than just the coach.
No, I definitely agree. Coach Amanda, in your kind of fledgling career as a sports parent, do you think it'll make you a better coach? And do you think being a coach will make you a better parent, sports parent?
Yeah, absolutely. I've already felt myself be less defensive in situations where, questions about playing time, whatever, come up. It's like, all right, it's a lot less about being mad at me. They just want what's best for their kid or they
Mhm,
want to
mhm.
advocate for them. So I can definitely take out the defensive feeling right from the beginning and much more open to conversation. So that has certainly helped. And then parent on a sideline, I'm still working on that one. It's tough. I don't even know a lot about soccer, but I so focused on what she needs to do and wanting to get her attention during a game. I have to chill out. So that's very much a work in progress.
Yeah, yeah. Let me know when you figure that out because my son's done playing. I never quite figured it out, but it was a lot of fun trying to figure it out. Well, how about you, Coach Stone? And I know in Madison the parents are probably perfect, so you probably don't know anything about difficult parents. But do you think it'll help you? Both roles will help you do the other?
For sure. I mean, it's just about patience. I mean, the lady said everything. I mean, you just understand where the kids are coming from a little bit more, where the parents are coming from. So, yeah. I mean, I don't have anything fun to add.
Yeah. uh, Coach Lee, what about you? Because you deal with parents as a coach, but also as a trainer, small groups a little bit. So you have different kind of environments that you deal with your players, and also I'm sure you're on the phone with Coach Poindexter every night now, telling Carlos what he should be doing and what kind
Yep,
of football.
we have nice conversations. No, no, I agree with what the ladies say. I mean, I think it definitely awakens a balance within you as a coach, and then as a parent. For me, it's taught me, like I said, I have to learn how to separate. I see from the parents' perspectives now, but I think it's also kind of different for me because I'm in a sport that I've played, and now my son's into it. So a lot of the gripes that you hear, it's I'm coming from a place where I know, you know what I mean? It's not a place where I'm just this is my kid and this is what it should be. No, it's like a place I know exactly what it should be. So we're in a unique space. I'm like in a unique space. Now, if he was a football player or something, then that'd be different, because I gotta shut up and sit down.
You gotta be
I don't know
quiet.
nothing about football like that. But basketball is just a different environment for us over here. But it does create the balance and understanding more. And I think also it just allows me to be able to talk from different perspectives too, because I think people will, trust you more because I can see from both. I know what it is to be a coach. I know what it is to be a player and a parent on the sideline. So it gives me a little bit more credibility with people when, we have to have conversations because I can see from all different angles. So I think that's what the best thing that allows me to do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is kind of a question. I remember when Coach Lee did a really nice podcast with women coaches 3 or 4 years ago, and you were talking about some of the differences that women coaches experience as opposed to men. And Coach Lewis just alluded to this. Do you think the expectations are different for a woman coach to be around their kids more? Like, there's Coach House, and there's always, men coaches out there, and their players are playing sports. Do you think it's different being a woman in that role than it would be to be a man? The expectations of your time?
I maybe a little while ago, but like I think it's times are changing. I think women's sports is becoming real big, real heavy. These coaches are coming out here, women coaches are out here. And the balance, like I said, being in kids sports. So I think people are understanding like we can do just as much, if not more, right? So I don't think that that's held against us anymore. I think it's more now when you see it, it's like, oh, okay, I expected more. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Anyone else want to touch that one?
I think it affects
Yeah.
longevity. I think it's hard for women to have the long career that they want unless they have a very supportive partner or a very supportive system around them. Because there is, I think, a sense of guilt still sometimes that can take women off the sidelines. I'm really proud that this panel has even, the stature tenure that we have. I think on the guy side, you hear of a lot of longer term coaches, and on the girl side, it's not quite as long. And I think that's probably the biggest impact. We've had a lot of good young coaches I would have loved to have seen go a little bit longer with it, and whatever their circumstances were. But yeah, I think that might be the main impact I've noticed.
That's actually a great point, Coach, because a lot of the longevity on the female side are male coaches that have been around for a long time. The Coach Deegan and Coach Priester, but maybe some of the women coaches don't hang out quite as long because of other reasons. Coach Lewis or Coach Stone, you want to address
I
this?
don't, I don't know if it's other reasons or, I mean, I'm sure there are some other reasons. But, I mentioned this to another coach the other day. Um, I get asked quite often, when am I going to retire? And I said to
I hate that
them,
question.
well, yeah, because I said to them, are you going up to Deegan and Priester and asking them the same thing? It's okay for the men to go into their 70s and still coach, and no one questions it on the college level, on the high school level.
Yeah.
But you see a seasoned woman, and then they want to know, well, are you ready to pass this on to your daughter? And I'm like, why am I ready to pass this on? I never said I was ready to retire. It irritates the heck out of me just to.
Yeah, I can see your point. The expectations, the double standard with the female. But
Very
I hate
much
that
so.
question anyway. I don't
Yeah.
want. I don't want to be thinking about retiring right now, even though I'm old enough to be thinking about it. So, Coach Stone, did you want to jump in here? Or?
No, I mean, I get the retirement every time I had a baby, I got married. I mean, I've been retiring about 6 or 7 times. So
Yeah, yeah, you keep coming back. Well, let's move on to another issue that's really big on the boys' side. We talk about it every podcast we do. We talk about the private schools, losing kids to private school, and obviously it happens on the female side as well. I'm sure it's happened to all of you all of you coaches. But what is the state of play? It seems like you guys have been successful, even though you may have lost a player or two over the years. But are you seeing more and more players going to private schools, or is it stabilized, or is it less over time? And I mean private schools as in private high schools.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone want to?
go
Yeah.
Go ahead.
ahead. No, you go.
No, you go ahead.
Coach Stone, why don't you start?
I mean, we see it all the time. I mean, we see the posts, the kid, they're at all their games, they're recruiting, they're giving the girls money. I think
Wow.
for me, the boys were kind of used to it. And everything I've noticed in women's basketball is, 10 years behind. And so, yeah, I mean, we are losing people quickly, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
To schools
it's
that
a
I've
problem.
never heard of too, like to schools, holy child, I'd never heard of some of the schools that they're going to. It's not like the PVIs and the visitations that I'm used to. Now it's
Wow.
a whole new schools for I don't even know.
Is it the
There's
online
academies,
type
there's
schools? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
academies popping up everywhere. And I was gonna say that's what it is. It's like academies are popping up everywhere, and everybody wants to, have these, tough teams with these great players, and I can get you to these scholarships and everything. And so that's where, that's the dream that's being sold right now. Let alone if you have the opportunity to give somebody an NIL deal or something like that to have them come over, like that's the boat that we're riding right now. So it is for me. I agree. There is a whole lot of kids that are transferring, and not always for the right reasons as well.
And it's not only the best kids anymore. It's like above average kids.
Everybody.
Transfer. It used to be just the elite would try it, but now it looks like there's a private school for everybody.
And
100%.
they're getting bolder with it. At our game last year with Hayfield, there were 3 private schools that walked in and sat behind our bench, waved at me and everything. Whereas they used to walk in and they wouldn't wear they wouldn't wear anything, but you kind of knew they were there. So they're getting a lot bolder with it too.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah,
It is.
yeah. Coach Baker, do you want to jump in here? Or?
This past summer was wild. But every day there was like a new tweet of a new person going somewhere else. So it was the busiest season I'd seen in a while. I think, that's just the way it is. It's the trickle down effect, I think, from what we're seeing in the transfer portal at the college level. Everyone's like the grass is greener, and sometimes it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying like in the boys' game we have players that boomerang back? They go to private school and they come back in the middle of the season. And I understand this is the last year they're going to allow that, but there's been some very high profile guys. There's a guy at Tuskegee came in. He was sitting on the bench at Paul VI, came back to Husky. Colin Bird had a great end of the season. Now he's got like 8 Division I offers. It was a great move for him just to get playing time. He wasn't playing. You would think a Division I player would find a way to play, but he wasn't playing. Are you getting players that boomerang back to the public schools? If not during the season, they may go to private for 1 year and come back the next season.
I've had a few.
I was gonna say, yep, that was gonna be the only place I know of where Edison. I know she had some.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Coach Lewis, you want to address that?
Well, it was again, they went over thinking that things were going to be a whole lot different. They didn't get the playing time. They didn't get the attention, and they just didn't enjoy the environment. Were the cases that I saw, and they came back.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
No, the grass is always greener.
Yeah,
So, Coach Baker, you want to?
I don't know the rule well enough to know if it is going to affect a lot of us in the future. I haven't honestly got my arms around it. But I know there were some that happened this summer that went. I know South County got a couple girls that were privates that went back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it happens still.
It happens. Yeah. And Coach Stone, do you want to jump in here? Or
I mean, yeah, I got a great point guard last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Centerville got one this year. So yeah, I don't have a problem with them coming back though. I don't know how the other ladies feel. I mean, they're kids. Like, let them try. They make decisions. If it's against me, I don't. It is what it is. You want to do what's right for your kid, and if they want to try the private school and then come back to public, good for them. I mean, I don't love it when they shop around when they come back, but
Right.
like if they're in district and they come back, I mean, good for Centerville. Like, have the best career. You're a kid.
Yeah.
That's why we do it.
I mean, you do pay taxes, so I think you should be allowed to come back if you want to. I know it could be awkward, and I think sometimes it's unfortunate to the seedings if a player has not played at school. There's a guy from Potomac who came back. He was a 6'6" guy, Division I prospect, came back a week before the tournament, and it messed up all the seedings because he all of a sudden this team hadn't done well all year, and they were now one of the best teams in the state. Wow. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But what about just the experience in generally? Do you guys feel? And I know every kid is different, but do you feel good selling the kids on the public school experience? I do, but maybe it's not our job to sell them on the public school experience. Maybe, as Coach Stone just said, let them go out there and find out what it's all about if they need to. But I get people. I want to say offers, but no one ever pays. But people want me to interview private school kids. I mean, I don't interview private school kids. If they're signed in Division I will, or something like that. But they're a really big name, yes. But there's so many Division I players that play private school, or there's so many good players. I could spend every single moment interviewing a private school kid. I'm here to promote the public school game. So I tell people that, and I feel good about it. But as coaches, do you have that kind of confidence, or are you reluctant to counsel parents on what to do with their kids?
I'm a big component of the public school too. Like I love it. And I know this is going to be, I'm probably going to eat these words at some point.
I was thinking that too.
Listen, but I tell my husband too, like we have these conversations all the time when it comes to our son. We don't know what the trajectory of his career high school wise is going to be. But for me, like, I thought it was awesome that, Christy Winters kept her son public, and he's a Power 5 kid that graduated, because it doesn't happen that often no more. So I would love, Lord willing, Christian keeps doing what he's doing. He becomes one of those kids too that comes out as a Power 5 from public. I do understand that, sometimes the platforms that some kids need, some schools that they're at, they're not going to get the same exposure that private would give them, so that they could get, the higher offers and everything. But if you are in a good situation with a good coach who already has a track record, like, for me, try it out. Like, keep rolling, keep working, see what happens. Because I also think that a lot of people give the coaches too much power, in a sense. Like, you can also do the work too to help your career and help you get the recruits that you need. You know what I mean? And so when I see kids jumping back and forth and stuff, it's kind of like, I always I'm curious on the why. Why are we leaving, where you're the star of your team for public at 12 kids on the squad, and you're the number one kid, and now you go private and you become one of 15. You know what I mean? Like, now you got to fight for another spot, you know what I'm saying, instead of already being seen. So I don't know. I think it's kind of my whole jump back and forth with it is a little but I guess, again, y'all are gonna, whoever watches this podcast, if something happens, listen, I put it out there. I don't know.
Yeah, they're gonna put this clip up there and say, "Look what she said. Look what she said
Right.
3 years ago."
Right, and now he's over here. Right.
But I do think the colleges notice when you jump around a lot. Not that the college players don't jump around a lot, but people like players that stick to it, stay home and show loyalty. I think it's a nice to show those traits.
Years ago, I had Dorena Campbell, who was highly recruited for for private school back when it wasn't really a big deal to go to private school. But this kid was excelling, in the 7th and 8th grade, and so I knew all the private schools would go after her, and it was just going to be one of those. Well, if I get her, I'm glad. If I don't, good luck. And she made the decision that um, she wanted to go to school with her friends, her people in her neighborhood. She didn't want to bus all the way to somewhere where she didn't know anyone, and I really respected that they made that decision as a family. Her dad gave her that autonomy to say, if this is what you want, this is what we're going to do. And she became one of the arguably one of the best kids in the state.
And Coach Lewis, the thing that you guys have is the girls' private schools will play the girls' public school teams. You guys play these teams often. You rarely see that on the public school side. I mean, Paul VI played Westfield last week. But you won't see that the rest of the year, where you see that more often on the girls' side. So you can get Doreen, that experience that's hard to get.
And she was highly recruited. The whole, you got to be on, at the private school to get recruited. She was highly recruited. So
yeah,
it can be done. And I agree with Coach Lee. It's the public schools, I'm going to promote them. Academically, we're as strong as any private school, I believe. And so, you got to look past all of that. And I will say that to a parent, it's about the academics as well.
Absolutely.
I think that what Coach Lewis is saying too, the way that she handled that young lady too, also I think plays into the role of a coach. Like for me, if I had a coach, and I would say that with Coach Carlos and being over there at Hayfield, it's a community, it's a family over there. They've really embraced my son. And so for me, and my husband, it's very, very important that he has that type of environment. And he's also came out and we've had a conversation where he's like, listen, if y'all come here, cool, love it. But if you guys decided to go private, I respect that. And I think for us too, that for us plays a big role to be like, oh man, he really does care. And you know what I mean? Because some coaches will hold it against you and say certain things and, make people feel some type of way. But to know a coach genuinely cares about your kid, like is really, really big for me. So again, we could, transfer and go private. But for me, am I going to get that same type of love and community from my son over there that I'm getting over here? So that's plays a big role. So what she did with that young lady, I mean, that would have been big for me as a parent. Like she understands and she's here and she's not going to pressure this kid to do anything.
Yeah. Coach Towe, Carlos, Hayfield's a great community, and Carlos is such a good guy, and he's a great basketball coach. So, I mean, you're such good hands there. Greg Jones is having a tremendous career at American. Every single private school wanted him. And, it would be easy. He's 6'6", long arms. It'd been easy for him to transfer. And look what he's doing. He's just doing so well. So, I think it's a great place. How about you, Coach Baker? Do you feel confident? I mean, you got some power parents over at Langley. These are people that have strong opinions. I can say that because I was a Yorktown parent, and that's our rival. Do you feel confident counseling Langley and parents and selling the public school experience?
Yeah, and I do think it's different for each kid as they're trying to make that decision. Just present, what I think the roadmap looks like for them at Langley. And if they like what they see, great. And if they want something else, kind of like the same feelings that Coach Stone had, it's like, do what's best for you. But as Coach Lewis was speaking, it resonates very strongly, the sense of if you're going to make that decision, just make sure if basketball is not in the equation anymore, you're still happy. Because I don't know that you can make such a big decision about how you're going to spend such a important part of your childhood, youth, around just basketball. So I think going forward, I'll keep that in the back of my mind. Just remember, like, whatever you're going to do, if basketball's not in the equation, are you still happy? And if the answer is yes, do what's best for you.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Now, Coach Stone, at Madison, you have other great sports programs that folks, like if you have multi-sport athletes, That's another reason to stay at Madison as well. I mean, the basketball team is awesome, but it might be softball or whatever else they play. They're also in good hands. That probably helps you at Madison as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, nowadays, yeah, it depends. Like when I've always asked my top players because I have the same debate. So when I had those years where I had all that talent, I asked their dad, like, or their parents, why did you stay at Madison? Why didn't you go private? And he said what all these ladies said is, my girls wanted to be, with their friends. They wanted to be with the girls they played BYI with. They want to, and it's that hometown feel. Which is important. Now, playing, like you said, we play all those private schools, and that is an impressive, it's very different. I mean, you go to their tip-off tournaments and there's college coaches lined up along the sideline. So it is a different mentality, but I think if the player is good enough, they end up where they're supposed to. So it's all what your family wants.
Yeah. And I have to say, Coach Stone, I was down there for 2 of your state titles. I bet you those players will never forget that moment when you guys won when you won states. So I think that that experience probably went a long way doing it with their friends as well. Well, let's talk about how some of your kids in college are doing, the ones that are playing right now, if any, or maybe some of them are playing other sports. Why don't we start with Coach Stone? I remember you had the twins, I believe. I think there were twins that were so good. But just catch us up on some of your recent graduates and how they're doing playing in college.
Yeah, the Arnolys were the twins you're talking about. Gracie, their senior year. Gracie's at Brown, and
Senior year, gosh.
I know they both scored their 1,000 points last year. So Gracie's going into her senior year, doing great at Brown. And then Elena actually decided not to play at Gettysburg her senior year. So she scored 1,000, and then her and Amanda's player decided not to play their senior year, which is kind of sad, but
Yeah.
and then I had Mia Chapman at Dickinson, and she's doing really well. I'm trying to think who else is out there, but
You
for
had that
now,
the real scrappy player that was playing in college. I can't think of her name. She's blonde hair, but I can't think of her name. I'm
I don't
freezing.
either. My transfer last year, she's out. She's starting. God, I can't think of the school in Iowa right now, but at a great school, starting D3. So my players are doing great.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. How about you, Coach Baker? What about your recent graduates? How are they doing in college?
So Anya's really happy at Carnegie Mellon, just finished finals. I think the school is it's a great fit for her. She's very well suited for that academic environment. And she's finding her footing on the team. She's a freshman, so it takes a little bit of time to kind of make your mark, but she's got the goods. And I think it's just a matter of time before she really gets those big minutes that she's hunting. And then Peyton's playing lacrosse, so it's not her season yet, but
Okay.
can't wait. I know
Yeah.
she's going to do great.
Yeah. Well, where's Peyton going to school again, Coach?
Longwood. She's at Longwood.
Oh, okay. So you might be able to catch a game if she plays locally. Yeah. So, well, Coach Lee, what about at Woodson? I know you had a couple of really good teams in your short time you've been there. How are they doing in college, and have you been able to keep in touch?
Yes, my girls, that is a blessing that I have kids that they always come back. My seniors always come back. So I just unfortunately Emma Kamali, who was our main kid over the 4 years that I've been over there, she tore her ACL right before the season started. So she's had her surgery, and she came home for right before Thanksgiving, and we connected definitely on the up and up of everything. It hit her hard for the moment because as her best friend, Georgia Simonson is over at Radford killing it. So thought that she would be able to be in same talks with her bestie, but she's in good spirits. So she's going through the recovery process, and she'll walk that thing out. I know she'll be back by next year. And then there was Katie O'Connor. She went to Bridgewater. She's there. Bridgewater recruited like 10 freshmen. So she is like navigating that space. She's definitely working hard. They're starting to dress her out and everything. So she's just going through that process. But she understands she's a freshman. So, we just have those talks to keep grinding it out and see what happens. Don't quit. So she's working. She's working, and I'm excited for her to see what her future holds.
Yeah. That's one thing about D3. There is opportunity, but a lot of times these roster sizes are big. So it's not like you go there and just, I'm here, put me in the game. you really have to earn those minutes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, she's learning. She's learning. She was always my kid who was so impatient too. So she was like, she'd be ready, and I'd be like, "Kid, you're gonna be fine." She's like, "I know, I know."
Yeah.
So she's going through the process. I love her, so she'll be good.
Yeah, she'll get there. Coach,
Mhm.
Coach Lewis, how about you? You've had quite a lot of. It's funny. The last few years, I feel like your teams are always so young. They every year they're freshmen and sophomores, but I know some of them have to be in college by now. So anyway,
Yeah.
update us on how your Eagles are doing in college.
Yeah, I had three impact players that graduated last year that were, that carried our team pretty heavily, but uh, only one decided to play.
Wow.
Sarah Chalky is at Slippery Rock in Pennsylvania. And she's going through the freshman blues with, doesn't understand why she's not the superstar anymore. And she just has to bide her time. And so I got a phone call on a Sunday evening a couple of weeks ago, and she's like, "Coach, I don't know what I'm doing wrong." And I'm like, "Baby, you're not doing anything wrong. Like, can you just wait? Like, keep
Yeah.
working, just keep working, and your time will come."
Yeah.
That adjustment is always very hard for kids. They've been the star in high school, and then they get to school, and everybody else is good too. And so now, I'm telling her, you got the coach has to trust you. If she doesn't trust you, she's not going to play you. It's
Yeah.
as simple as that. And I know she told you she was going to promise you everything, but it's a different story. So,
Coach Lewis, in your experience, do most of the kids that start out playing college basketball, do they stick with it, or do most of them after a certain time end up just being students?
the majority that I've had go on to play did stick with it.
Oh, okay.
Now they come out and they go, "I don't want to see another basketball," and but and or they'll come back and then I'm lucky to have I have my daughter coaching with me. I have Tatiana Torres coaching with me. Jada Graves was coaching with me. Her job just kind of kept getting in the way, but there's some that will still stick with it and want to be involved in that arena. And then there are some that are just like, "Okay, I've had enough."
Yeah.
And they move on to something else. Bree Johns is actually coaching at Wichita State. She's their GA.
Oh,
and
amazing.
and so she's with them, on staff with them. So
Well, GAs, they work hard. She's gonna really find out if she wants to be a coach.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I love it. I love
Yeah, yeah,
it.
absolutely. Well, let's talk about your teams now, and just kind of talk about the character, or the just kind of preview what you have this year, and maybe the first week of the season. This is good because I did the boys last week before they got a chance to play. You guys have all played at least a couple games, so tell us about your team and about your first week. Why don't we start with you, Coach Lewis?
uh, this was a week that kind of surprised me in some ways, pleasantly. Um, Coach Stone is going to laugh because she says, "You always say you're rebuilding," and I am rebuilding. I swear I'm rebuilding. But we took a win against Woodbridge, which was a tough, scrappy team that just punched us in the face right from the start,
Mm.
and we needed to see that. And then we took a win over McLean, and they're going to be all right. The score was not indicative of how that team is going to do. And then we lost to a really tough Westfield team. We lost by 3. Um, um, that was third game, 3 nights,
Yeah,
third game in a week. And we're just not quite ready to do 3 games in a week yet.
yeah,
Still it's too early, and our conditioning showed, but kudos to them.
yeah. You really went into the deep end. 3 games, but a lot of the teams had 3 games the first week. I mean,
Yeah, the
it's
tip
a
off stuff kind of messes you up. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So on the boys' side, a lot of teams are still playing football late too, and it's even more of
Mhm.
a inconvenience. Well, thanks, Coach. Well, Coach Lee, what about you? What do you have this year, and how's the preseason been, and the first week of the season?
I was going to excuse myself from this portion of the conversation. Um, I'm in a real rebuild. Everybody,
Yeah.
just all these vets up here are gonna say something like that. No, I'm in a real rebuild. I lost 6 seniors, and I mean, I have the potential, but it's really going to be digging into my kids' mentals because a majority of them that I have on this team are all JV players. You know, I have 5 returners, but my returners were kind of role players last year because I had, I had 6 seniors. And so now my returners got to step up and be leaders now. And then the remaining of the team is JV kids. And I think a lot of people don't realize the jump from JV to varsity is very different. You know,
Really
you're
is.
playing freshmen and sophomores at the JV level, whereas varsity, you're playing 9 through 12. So the speed, the intensity, the strength is very different. So we played, strong Chantilly. We got our nice beautiful handing to us by Madison too, and so we struggled those on. We beat Tuscarora, so I can see light. But I think us starting off with the 3 games in the first week was a little much from my kids. I would have loved to just do the 1 or the 2, something like that. But it was a lot. So we have a learning curve to climb over. But I believe did it before. I have to do it again, and I'll just be calling Coach Lewis just to get my mental back together
You got Coach
to
Lewis.
make sure we can do this thing. But no, yeah, I think we're in a rebuild, so we'll pull it out though. They have a lot of pride. They fight. My kids, I will say, they fight to the end. So as long as I can build off of that, we should be okay.
And Coach, also your experience at Lewis High School, where you don't have quite the participation that you have at Woodson, that probably in some regard prepares you for these moments.
I literally just yesterday told my husband, I said, I'm going back to Lewis. Like, I might as well because that's how it's feeling right now. Yeah, it does. It does. It was definitely a humbling experience that has prepared me for moments like this. So again, I had the 1 winning season my year there that the school hadn't seen in like 15 years. So I know I can take it. I can do it. I just gotta go back in my toolbox and figure it out. So we'll be good.
Yeah, and one thing for sure is your kids are all going to be much better basketball players by the end of the year. I can promise you that. Coach Baker, what about you? I mentioned the big win over Gainesville, which is great to test yourself this early in the season. But tell us a little bit about this year's Saxons and about last week.
Yeah, this group is great. Very competitive. They have been extremely committed and dedicated really since the spring. I think everyone was not blind to the fact that we were losing quite a bit, but kind of looking around the room, we still had a lot coming back. So they, I think, took a lot of ownership of the preparation for the season. So all spring, all summer, all fall, I had a very strong core, probably a solid 8 kids that came to basically everything. So we had a good opportunity to work together in the off season. I mean, I think I have a legitimate superstar in Mariah. I know she's young, she's only a sophomore, but seeing this past week that she's had and kind of the leadership she's taken on and the focus that she has, I think expectations are high. These kids want to win. They put in the time, and I have a point guard that's a senior that I think might be the most underrated player in Northern Virginia. Her name is Maddie Shamloo.
Yeah.
Incredible ability to control the game. So, I mean, if you've got the pieces like a Mariah and a Maddie, and then you have a bunch of kids that are willing to work hard, I think we can do well. And this week showed, I think, potential for that and gave them a little bit of that confidence of, yeah, we want it, we want it. It's like, oh, maybe we can do this. Like, we got a pretty big win. And they're not terribly excited to the point where like this is going to be the highlight of the season, which also makes me optimistic because they're hungry. Like they really want to keep winning and do well and repeat. They want to win another championship. So it was a great week, great team. I'm excited for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's great. I remember last year, Coach, I knew you had a couple freshmen that came to watch you play. I couldn't believe Mariah was one of the freshmen. I'm like, that's a freshman. That's, she was quite the athlete, but quite the composed player as well. So she definitely does not play like she's a sophomore this year. Well, that's great. Well, let's go to Coach Stone. At 3 wins, beat McLean, Robinson, and Woodson, I believe, Coach. An excellent start to your season. So, maybe rumblings of the Warhawks title runs here, huh?
I don't know about that. We are rebuilding. I mean, when we had the dominance of what we had last year was our first year without like a stud, and we had great, but then we graduated 75% of our scoring last year. And so we're still figuring it out. Yeah, the 3 wins are great, but we also played South County and got smoked. So, we are in a tough district. Chantilly's strong, Oakton's strong, Centerville's strong.
Westfield.
Westfield, she got some new people. Mike at South Lakes, he's going to bring some new stuff. So the Concord is a battle this year. So, these wins have been great, but we got a long, long, long way to go. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I got some young talent.
Yeah. The Concord is always a battle. It's a tough conference in every sport, and especially girls basketball. I think Oakton was a 4 seed last year, I believe, and I believe they won the district. I might be wrong, but
Yeah,
someone out there check. What's that?
I was 4.
Oh, okay. So they were 4. Maybe they were 3.
I would love not to have been, but
Okay. You have to own that 4. Well, let's talk about how important it is to win in December. Is it important for the confidence of the kids? Does it depend on what type of team you have? If they're young, you might want to give them some early wins because it's for the confidence, or is it better to get just great competition whether you win or not? How do you guys feel about wins in December? Coach Stone, why don't you go first on this one?
Well, the older I've gotten, the more I've changed my thinking on this. I've now kind of come to the terms with like it's all and none of it matters until the district tournament. So December, is I like to mix it. When you're real good, when you're going for the state title, then you should be playing private schools. Like you should be, getting the toughest games you can, when you're like I am now, you want the mix. Like Robinson was great. They work hard. They push the ball, Woodson's the same thing. Like they are tough. They compete. So those are kind of the games, South County was, they're going to be they're going to be the top of the top from this area. So a good mix is great. I don't need to play any of the lower teams. We won't name any names. But I think like that medium to high is where you should be in December.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got.
You just mentioned Robinson. I mean, what does Coach Day do? You lose Georgia Simonson, and here he is. He's back again. The guy, and I'm so glad he's at Robinson. It's tremendous school. Coach Baker, you mentioned your kids beat Gainesville, and it wasn't like job finished. We can go home now. But how do you feel about that? Do you put a lot of stock in wins in December? Are you trying to find things out there, combinations that work?
No, I definitely agree with Coach Stone in that you want a mix of like mid to high. You definitely want to stretch yourself a little bit. You want to have some games where you have end of game situations you can learn from. Some where you have to do some game planning to see if the kids will buy in or who's committed to a game plan and form some trust with the kids if the game plan works. So you want to challenge yourself, but you also want to have opportunities for your bench to get in there and prove themselves. So you have to have that balance so that, come February, you know what you're working with and you've had a chance to go through some battles together and you're tested.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach Towe, what about you? I'm sure you're going to tell me every game's a tough game at this point for you, but generally, what kind of stock do you put in results in December?
I mean, I agree with everybody else. I like all the smoke. Give me all the smoke early so I can see where I'm at and what I need to do. Because again, once you get to the end, that's when it really counts, right? So for me, it's not really about how you start. It's about how you finish. So I like the competition. It would be nice, sometimes depending on the teams that you get, like this season, my rebuild, a good win or two to build that confidence is good. But then also for me, I mean, I'm heavy on teaching my girls about adversity. Like it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to start off the way that you might want it to start off. So that how do you keep grinding and get the success that you want? So I always turning it into a life lesson type thing outside of the game. So it's fine.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Lewis, what about you? You've done this once or twice. December results, and does it matter that you graduated some kids, so your team is going to be a little bit younger? Do you feel differently about it when you have a young team?
I don't like to lose. So no, I'm just kidding. I don't like to lose, but I'm not gonna schedule games that I know that I can win. That's not what I'm gonna do. We all know as coaches that the best way to find out what you're weak at is to see what you're weak at. And when you play these teams and they expose those things, you get to address those things fairly early.
Mhm.
So I do want to play some teams that's going to challenge us. I'm not going to put kids on the court to see if they're ready. I tell them all the time, you show me every day in practice that you're ready.
Right.
The game is not your test. And so we're gonna challenge ourselves as much as possible. And I lost the other night and I couldn't even go home. I just sat there, just sat there. I don't like to lose. So, and the kids know that, and they're going to play hard for me, but I'm in the same boat that Coach Lee is in. And someone else mentioned, we graduated, a good portion of my scoring. My top two scorers were Sarah and Shannon, and they both are gone. And they were first team all district, first team all region, and they're gone. So now it's someone else's opportunity to step up and fill those roles. And it's not going to probably happen right away. And so that's a building process that we all have to do. But I've got some JV players that are on the team also that look like deer in headlights. And it's been fun to kind of scare them a little bit. But
Yeah, exactly. Well, Coach Lewis, in the national district, it's historically a little bit uneven. So you will, I mean, let's face it, at the end of the year in basketball, it's always going to be Edison and Hayfield in girls and boys. It seems it's very consistently. Like, does that give you a little bit of time, and that you're probably going to have some teams? Well, actually, TJ's actually really good, but you're going to have some teams that you can beat in the district.
um, well, that's kudos to the coach over at TJ
Yeah.
and some other of the teams that have been working hard to
Mm.
bring their teams up.
Yeah.
And Hayfield does make us better, plain
Yeah.
and simple. Every time we play them, it makes us better. And so it does get sometimes a little challenging when you want to kind of get ready for the postseason, to find some challenging games.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk now about maybe some of the players and teams that are going to be good this year. We've mentioned I think we've mentioned Robinson, and we've mentioned South County. We've mentioned I think Robinson. But who else? Who else do you think are going to be contenders this year from both Occoquan and the Northern Region, but also maybe even Prince William County?
Well,
Osborne Park.
we all know Osborne Park.
Right.
Yes,
I know they just beat PVI the other night. So.
I
Right.
can't believe
Yes.
that. Yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, they just beat PVI. I mean, for me, I'm a bit. If anybody has a strong guard or two, I feel like you're going to be competitive. I think guards really drive it home for a lot of the squads. I mean, you can have a big, but if you don't got no guards that get into your bigs, I mean, we're talking about. So I think any team that's got some tough guards,
Mhm.
they're going to be competitive this season for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. Anyone else have any other teams that we want to shout out?
I think Oakton will make another good appearance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, Freddie's working on probably 800 wins now, I think. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. You mentioned point guards there, Lee, having a good point guard. Nowadays you hear a lot about in the boys' games, point guards are less important now. Yeah, because the game is positionless. Everyone does everything. Do you guys feel in the girls' game that's a little bit different, and that the point guard remains more prominent in the girls' game, or is it like the boys' game, and that it's becoming more positionless?
I haven't had
I
any
think
height in a while, so because I haven't had any height, we are playing positionless basketball
Yeah.
just by force. So everybody's going to be a guard,
Yeah.
plain and simple.
Yeah.
I think on the girls' side, it is still very kind of position based. I mean, for me, girls, it's kind of boys are gonna hoop. Like they
Mm-hmm.
all play. They're in the gym a lot. I mean, look at I mean, especially, if I talk about Woodson, like tryouts, it's like 1,000 boys trying out compared to like, a handful of girls that try out. So I
Mm-hmm.
think for them, yeah, it can be positionless because most of the kids are playing 24/7. They're watching the game, they're playing the
Mm-hmm.
game, they're playing pickup, they're in the gym. And then we get to girls, usually it's a second sport, it's an additional sport, there's something else they're playing. You know what I mean? It's not their number one go-to all the time for basketball. Basketball is not their number one. So you have to kind of be more specific when you get certain players. And then your hope, like for me, I can see certain guard players and be like, okay, you can play this position and that position. So I teach everything, but when it comes to, game specifics, because I know the caliber of players I have to be very specific with what's going on in the game. So
It is true. The teams that I've seen in the girls' teams in Northern Virginia, they have dominant point guards. That is something I do see more on the girls' side than the boys' side. So that's actually a
mhm.
great observation that you guys are making. Coach Stone or Coach Baker, anything about point guards, or are you agreeing with us?
Baker loves her point guards. I mean, I love mine, but that point guard machine.
Yeah.
I was
I
called
do.
point guard you one time, and that was the best compliment I ever got in my life.
No.
I've been lucky. Had some good ones.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with everybody. I mean, the women's game still is controlled by point guards. Plus, with with no 30-second clock, you need to control the tempo. And I think you need someone on the court that can control the tempo, um, which normally ends up being the point guard.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Um,
Mhm.
Well, one thing that I was going to ask you guys about, but this is sometimes a delicate issue. How's the officiating been on the girls' side? Now, I see on the boys' side lots of female refs, so I assume in the girls' games I go to, I see a combination of both as well. That's interesting. It's great. People have opportunities to do both types of basketball if that's what they want. Are you guys feeling that the officiating has been solid? Are they calling the games? At one point, I think I talked to Coach Lewis, and I think she felt they called the game sometimes too close on the girls' side. I hope I didn't put that in your mouth. I believe you told me that 2 years ago, Coach Lewis. But anyway, do you find the officiating solid? Are you happy with it? Does anyone want to get in trouble here?
I was going to say
Who
it's
did
way too early to make that.
Yeah, it's too
who did you
early.
see everybody's face was all like,
I have two officials as parents, guys. So
Oh, that's right. Those are my people. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I refereed with both Adam and oh
Chrissy,
God,
yeah.
Chrissy.
Mhm.
Jeez.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
do think there's some officials that need to retire now. There's some that officiated me when I was playing, and I had one the other day, and I was like, listen, it's time for you to go, sir."
Yeah,
Because it's too much. But I mean, yeah, it is still kind of early as I don't know what kind of officials we're gonna get over at Woodson. So we'll see.
yeah.
I've been pretty happy so far, to be honest,
Okay.
which I never am. I mean, I agree there are some that are not great, but
Yeah. I
I
yeah,
yeah.
think
I
if
I mean,
if
I
if
look, I would say that too if I was 3-0 too. So I mean,
Yeah.
well, and not just that, she has Chrissy and Adam's daughter.
yeah.
I mean,
right.
she's gonna get a good draw.
We love them.
Yeah. She hasn't scratched them yet, has she?
Right.
Yeah. I had Adam. I went to watch. He was out here loud and last week. I caught him twice last week. He did such a good job both games. So yeah, I'm sure he loves hearing that. What about guys? Are you seeing many varsity doubleheaders now? Is that still a thing where they're doing girls boys varsity? I know at Arlington we do it. They do it for Yorktown and Washington and Liberty like to do that for the basketball. Are you guys seeing a lot of those? And do you like those situations?
I
That
like them. Yeah.
I get frustrated, but I don't mind them. I like them. I think it's unfair that like I feel like game nights are, you get in your routine, and because we always go first, I feel like it messes up their routine. But I agree with the social aspect. Like it's great for the girls and the boys to support and the
Mhm.
school wide So for certain games, I like it. Other games, I get frustrated in that it's an important game, and it wouldn't have been my choice to have that one as a doubleheader. But
Plus, you want to watch the JV girls play sometimes too. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, well,
Anyway, Chris Lewis, did you want to jump in here?
Well, I was just going to say the same. It is hard. I enjoy we were doing for a while. We were doing a lot of them, almost all of them. We were doing double headers, and then we scaled back quite a bit. And again, I do like to watch my JV girls play. And then sometimes, Edison's not very big, so logistics gets a little tricky in trying to host a doubleheader.
Yeah. I love when your gym is packed though. It's a great environment at Edison.
It can be intimidating.
Yeah. That's one way to put it.
She brought a band when I was coaching at Lewis. They brought a band in the gym one time, and I was like, Coach Lewis, are you serious right now against us?
Oh, you didn't bring the step team though, right? So
no, it was listen, the band was enough and my kids were ready to fall out. I was like, oh gosh, here we go.
Coach Baker, do you guys do varsity double hitters?
Just the McLean game, I think, this year.
Oh, that's great.
Had that many in my tenure, honestly. But yeah, the McLean game, we have to have it. I think the community would riot if we did not have that doubleheader.
Yeah. What do they call that rivalry again? There's a name for it.
Rotary Cup.
Yeah, that's right. The Rotary Cup. Yeah. It's great. I used to referee those games a lot. And Coach Towe was talking about retiring referees. I did your game. You don't remember me, but I refereed your games back then. So you'd be talking about me right now if I was still out there. So anyway, well let's begin to wrap up. We could talk about some of your big moments, your schedule this year. When you look at your schedule, and I know we're a week in, so you probably have some of your big non-district games behind you. But what are some of your big games you have on your schedule this year? Coach Lewis, you want to go first?
Well, we have South County on Tuesday.
Wow.
So that will be a challenge for us as well. But again, in order to get better, the iron sharpens iron. So, but I know that's going to be a tough game for us.
Yeah. How about, I'm not asking you to look ahead, but looking ahead, what are some of your other tough games you have on the schedule this year?
I don't know, because when we play our Christmas tournament, we're going to Middletown High School in Maryland just to see something different. We're going to play Herndon. Herndon's going out there as well. So I'm excited to see some Maryland competition.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's close to where I live now, so it's
Oh,
yeah. I live in Leesburg now, so that's not too far from
yeah.
Middletown, right up 15.
Yep.
Coach Towe, I know you're probably going to tell me every game is going to be a tough one, but when you look at your schedule, which games do you have circled?
I mean, my whole district, obviously.
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean, we finished fourth last year, so I would love to stay in my position or move up. So any game is going to be tough for me. I also am looking forward to we're playing the Boo Williams Holiday Tournament this year,
Nice.
which might have definitely bit off more than I could chew, but that's all right. I'm gonna go down there and get some bump with them 757 girls and see what it looks like. But I think those would be my top ones. And then again, the next one we have coming up is Westfield and then South County. So I think then my next couple of weeks is going to be pretty tough for a while, actually. So
yeah, well, the Boo Williams tournament's cool because Lee's husband Daryl has done a movie about Boo Williams. Boo Williams is a legendary AAU figure. I used to referee his games, and he was just starting, and he's done some amazing things. And I believe Daryl played for Boo as well, so that's probably a special thing for you guys to participate in that tournament, Coach. So, well, good luck.
Oh yeah, it's a target on my back though, because the Towe wife is coming down, so now everybody has to make sure. And the last time we went down there, we played a couple of 757 teams and we won. So now everybody wants that get back.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't know if I want to go anymore.
Yeah, well, we've talked about that. The 757. Those people down there, they're a little crazy. I mean, they are repping 757.
They go super hard. It's the argument we have in our household all the time. Who's better? Like the 703 or the 757. I'm always going to go Nova, but they do a little bit things different down there for sure.
Coach, I told you, let him win. You're not gonna win that argument. He's been practicing that argument his whole life. Just
That
You
is
guys,
true. That's true.
so how about you, Coach Baker? What are some of you've had gains, but what are some of the other tough ones you have left?
Yeah, I'll go off of Chris's Nova 19. We have Centerville coming up Tuesday, and I think Chantilly shortly after that.
Mm.
And then I think Liberty's coming. I know Concord's very strong. I've definitely kept my eye on them being our counterpart in the region. But I think we have some good teams this year within Liberty, and I'll highlight, I think WNL and Yorktown are both going to be pretty good by the end of this season, if not earlier.
Yeah.
The Youngman sisters are strong. Kat Wagner's strong at WNL. Yorktown has Mashi and then the new coach. So, I mean, there's a lot going on over there that I got my eye on everybody. Like, they're all circled. We're ready for them all. But
And Marshall beat somebody last week.
they did.
Marshall beat Westfield, I believe.
Westfield.
That's
Mhm.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I think Liberty's going to be strong this year. So they're all circled. They're all highlighted. They're all starred.
Exactly. Take it one game at a time, Coach. Well, and Coach Stone, we've mentioned how tough the Concord is. What do you have any other really tough non-district games on your schedule?
Yeah, visitation, Georgetown
Oh,
visitation.
cool.
Mm.
Yeah, we play them every year. Then I have Murray. They were in our Christmas tournament last year, so we got them. Now we have WNL. I don't know anything about them, but according to Amanda, so and then we're going out to Phoenix for our winter tournament. So I don't know what's out there. So should be some surprises. And then Concord. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. Okay. Well, look, last question, if you guys want to touch it. If not, we could say goodnight, but they put together all these new transfer rules that kids have to now be at their feeder school by 8th grade, or if they want to go to a high school now. So they have all these new rules that the VHSL's putting out. Do you think that's going to have a big effect on the game, or do you think, like many things, these things will just kind of work themselves out?
You know that rule.
This is on the boys' side. They've had all these issues. Yeah, they had a lot of drama last year, but yeah, is this something? Maybe it's not really gotten to you guys yet.
oh, it has.
Okay.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they work through it. And you said something about the transfers, but I think like if they lived in Vienna and went private, then they can come back in. But I think they're gonna have some problems because if you're in 8th grade in Langley and then you're moved to Vienna, I mean,
Yeah.
it'll work
Yeah,
itself out.
I hear there's one thing that's interesting. Like, say you wanted to go to South Lakes and do the IB program.
Can't do
And
it.
You can't now. You have if you do that, you have to go there for 8th grade, the Thoreau, whatever the feeder school
Yeah.
is. I can't think of it now. So you just can't do that anymore. So it's going to get tricky. And then in Loudon, where we live, you go anywhere you want for 9th grade, and then once you're there, you can't transfer back without sitting out a year. But you can start wherever you want as long as the school's not oversubscribed. So I don't know.
And the whole teachers' kids that come in can't do it.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh, they
gonna
can't
be
do, you can't teachers' kids can't follow their parents there anymore?
not anymore. Not with the transfer rule.
Wow. That's
So
tough.
it's gonna be interesting.
Are they not going to make exceptions on a case by case?
They're saying no. I think they're gonna have to,
Yeah.
but they're saying they're not going to.
Yeah.
Well, I heard the
What I've
whole
heard.
transfer thing. Yeah, I've heard the whole transfer thing. Like even if you moved, your you have to prove that you're out of your old residence in order to be able to play in your new, like in the new school with your new residence. So, and for me, and I'm like, what if my old residence is like a source of income now? You know what I mean? How can you say that I can't play now because I still have access to the old house or whatever the case may be? So I don't know. A lot of these rules that I'm saying about this transfer, I'm like what Coach Stone said, we're just going to see this thing play out and see what happens.
Yeah. I think it might end up sending more kids to private school because if you limit their choices of public school, they may say, well, let's just go to private. So I hope it doesn't have that effect, but it could. But well, look, guys, it's good. I really appreciate your time. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully, we can do this more often, and maybe in January get back together and see how all your predictions have gone. And hopefully by then, Coach Lee, you're on an 8-game winning streak.
Come on, speak it, yes.
Yeah, but look, I really appreciate Coach Lee your suggestions. I've interviewed everyone here one-on-one. It's been great. So I always love to talk Northern
I had to
Virginia
get
best.
on him, ladies. I was like tired of seeing all the fellas podcasts, and I'm like, there are some dope coaches out here that you should be doing the same thing for the ladies. So
Well, Coach, in my defense, I used to try, but I would do it and people would not respond. Well, we don't want to do it. And the fact that you were motivated, you were inspired, it helped. So you
Yeah.
brought Coach Lewis to the table, which was great. And so then
At 9 p.m.
yeah, 9 p.m. That's how much you.
she
What
can't
the
look.
heck?
She can't tell me no. She can't tell me no.
I
We got
know.
a
I
connection.
I was
can't.
surprised you got Coach Lewis.
I can't.
That's a huge get. But no, I appreciate all your time. I know you guys. Obviously, I don't pay much for this, so I appreciate you for showing up for me. Anyway, look, thanks again. Best of luck on the season, and thanks for all you guys do for the kids. And I just hope you have some fun and have some laughs this year.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you,
sure.
Jillian. Yeah, thank you, Jillian.
Thank
I
you.
respect these women with the utmost respect. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. It's great,
Absolutely.
great panel.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thank
All
you,
right, guys,
ladies.
enjoyed
Good
it.
luck this year.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You too.
Have-
You too.
Yeah.